The question, what should a student like me whose hobby is writing poems do to publicize her creations? The answer depends on whether your goal is to publicize your writing, to increase its visibility and encourage more people to read it, or to publish your writing, to submit your work for publication in literary journals and websites. Although similar, these are not quite the same. It's a lot easier to publicize your work as noted elsewhere. You just share your work on social media and engage with other writers on forums and social media platforms, providing links back to where people can find your work. This might build a fan base, but it's not really how you go about getting your work into print or published in a reputable online literary journal. To be published means that you have submitted your work to a literary journal or press that has a poetry editor and possibly some in-house readers who read and evaluate your poems in comparison with all the other poems that people have submitted to the journal. In general, the assumption is that the poetry you submit has not been published elsewhere in print or online, and yes, this includes on blogs and personal websites. If you can use Google to find your poem, then it's considered published online. If your work is in a private password-protected forum, then it's not considered published because it's not actually available to the public. Editors and in-house readers will read through hundreds of poems an issue and choose a very small number of them to publish in an issue of their journal. Sometimes the writer gets paid for publication. Some journals don't have the finances to pay their authors, so won't offer money. But all this should be clear if you read the submission guidelines page on their website. The literary journal I run tends to accept less than 1%, closer to 0.5%, of all submissions. Each submission packet contains 35 poems. Most respected journals have similar acceptance rates. 0.5% to 1.5% is the typical range. It's hard to get published. It largely depends on a mixture of excellent quality, fit with the journal's aesthetic, and some combination of luck and timing. Most good poems get rejected 510 times before they get published. But why try to publish? Publishing in literary journals is typically the preliminary step before attempting to publish a full-length collection of poetry. You send work out, publish a fair number of the poems in the manuscript, and start building interest and awareness among readers and potential publishers. Most presses want to see that a poet has been successful in publishing the poems in the book, as it demonstrates that there is a readership out there and that the work is being well received by their peers. Some publishers might even reach out to a poet if they are especially enthusiastic about the work and want to be the publisher of the book when it's ready. In most cases, publishing a poem or even your book won't change your life. You won't become instantly famous. You won't suddenly make a lot of money. You won't become more popular. But it will help you feel like you're part of larger literary conversation, that in your writing and publishing, you have started to engage other writers of your generation and of the generations before in grappling with what it means to be human. And you can feel like you've created something that enables other people to have a conversation about language, beauty, loss, and wonder.